for bringing to our attention the hard work of Global Hands Gambia and the members. Like you said, out of a few, we are many, we are great. And through the initiatives that you've taken, you've helped to change the view of young people, and that when you're gathered together, you can make a change. So thank you for sharing that. We will now have a few words from Galleh Jallow. Alhagie designed the front cover of the book, so he's going to tell us a bit more about this.
Chairman and the Director of International Development, Global Hands, Ayolah, Chairman of Gambia Global Hands, Jimmy, and Dr. Isatou Touray, and Dr. Sallah, and delegations from the United Kingdom, and panel's executive members of Global Hands, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am deeply honored this afternoon to give a short speech. This is very important, these very important locations. I first of all want to thank Dr. Sallah for his inspiration, guidance, and support that has brought us so far today. Dr. Sallah is the most humble intellectual I ever interacted with. He is a person of knowledge and experience, but overall, a paragon of venture. Sir, you are a good role model for the youth of this country. Thank you, sir. I have been asked to say something about the way I designed the book cover we are launching today. As an IT specialist, when Dr. Sallah called me on Skype and told me that, Alhagie, I want you to design a cover book, I was somehow worried. I asked myself, how can a senior lecturer in the United Kingdom, one of the best universities, Stanford University, to tell me as an undergraduate student to design a cover book? How many IT people we have in this environment? I didn't know that by then. What does he mean? Then later on, I realized that Doctor wanted to take the young Gambians, boys and girls, to the next level. That's what I realized later on. And I think that motivation is the key in our drive to transform this country to Silicon Valley. A young Gambian like you and I can do everything for this country and for humanity. When Doctor asked me to design the cover book for the second time, I did not hesitate because he is a man of action, aligned with an action-oriented man. I designed this book cover in about 1 week, knowing it will be going for an international. I didn't know that the book was going for an international by then. Anyway, it is a surprise for which I remain grateful. I thank the executive of Global Hands for hard work in sacrificing cooperation. These are key parameters that enable us to define how we do and what we stand for. To succeed, we know we must sacrifice time, energy, and resources. This is what we do every day. I promise Dr. Sallah and his team that we'll never let you down. Honestly, I really love the work I do. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed IT. When you assign me to do something related to IT, I would really enjoy it. And you tell me, come and talk to people. I prefer you give me problems to solve out than you tell me, come and face the people and you talk. Yeah. Okay. Because of this, it motivated me to establish an IT company called Suna Consultant in Brikama. It is my hope that in the next 2 years, it will become one of the leading IT institutes in this country. I am proud to take a lead in national buildings specializing in IT. each one of us a duty to perform so that this country will develop. I challenge all of you, especially the youth, to come out and venture in product sectors for national development. I wish to stand that my IT company is open to partnership that will help us grow bigger and stronger in the years ahead. Dr. Sallah and his team can continue to forge those educational partnerships in the UK. Remember, the late Nelson Mandela once said, the education is the most powerful tool that we can use to change the world. Therefore, let us use education, discipline, and hard work as the most essential pillar for the national development. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you, Alhagie, for that address just there, and for reminding us and also showing us that the young people of Gambia can be everything that Gambia needs by looking at and just having the opportunity to do something that they love and taking the initiative to make a business out of something you've got the opportunity to do. So thank you for sharing. Next up we will have Dr. Momodou Sallah, Senior Lecturer from Montfort University and Chair and Board of Directors of Global Hands Leicester. Can we welcome Dr. Sallah?
Madam Chair, distinguished members of the High Table, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the greatest pleasure to actually share some words. I think Ayolah, Alhagie, and Jimmy know that the only way to embarrass me is to come back, and they've been doing it consistently and deliberately. So I'm going to do it later on. I just want to remind the gathering that we are here to celebrate the launching of Dr. Galleh's book. Dr. Galleh is a Gambian academic based in the US. He was supposed to join us on Skype, and he might still be joining us on Skype. We're experiencing some technical difficulties, so bear with us, and I hope that he'll be able to join us. And if he's not able to join us, then we might have to charge him some money that we're going to be charity for him being here. But just to tell you a little bit about Global Hands, because I think it's important that we contextualize Global Hands publishing within the work of Global Hands. Global Hands, as Jimmy and Ayolah have already mentioned, has been set up to build capacity. It was in 2012 that we just said, actually, we've been talking about a lot of years. We've been wondering, what's wrong with the world? 20% of the world resources, or 80% of the world resources are consumed by about 20% of the world population. You had probably about 229 children out of every 1,000 dying of malnutrition before they reach their fifth birthday in March, as opposed to maybe something like 3 or 4 in Sweden around 2002, as opposed to 229 out of every 1,000 in 1998, 1990. So when you look at the statistics, they're shocking. And I think people are often left in a state of paralysis, like this kind of level of development, this level of inequality, this level of deprivation. It's so massive that you don't even know where to begin. And I think instead of Global Hands, because we believe that there is something we can do to build a better world. There is something that we can do to change the way things are. So I started working with some members of DMU and Global, some DMU staff and students, and we set up Global Hands in January 2012. And since then we've been expanding. Global Hands has got many different branches. We have got Global Hands Education and Public Engagement. We organize a lot of conferences, both national and international. I think in August we had about 30 people from 11 European countries, and we were trying to teach them how to engage with young people on the margins from all across Europe. In March, we worked with the Montfort University, and we organized a conference called Questioning the Logic of the System. It was questioning globalization, market liberalism, the Washington Consensus. year with a group of 15 young people from one of the most deprived wards in Leicester. And then we were able to, after a week of engagement, get them to explore their lives and also set up global enhancement. So we do a lot of public engagement interviews where the aim is to provoke consciousness, because until you can actually get the people's head and provoke consciousness so that they can see the world in a different way and therefore interact with the world in a different way, then that intervention might be shut down. And we're very much interested in provoking people's consciousness so that they take the actions that actually are commensurate with their abilities to change the way things are. So we've got Global Hands Education and Public Engagement. We've got Global Hands International Development. We do this development school. Right now we've got 31 participants from the UK who are taking part in this 12-day development school. And then the idea is to understand development from the Sallah perspective and also to look at practical examples of community development and the impact of globalization on a developing country. So that is one part of our international development strategy. We also have been given land in Mandua, and we are building a development hub in Mandua. In fact, most of us in the development group spent yesterday morning scrubbing the floor, renovating it, and hopefully in May we will have the center open. We will have a bigger international center of excellence and should be able to bring in experts from different parts of the world. So that's one of the things we're doing. So we're hoping to have a business incubation center where we'll be able to work with West Gambians to train them on setting up their own businesses and providing seed money. And we'll be able to incubate them in the center. We're thinking also of having a technological innovation hub, which means that we'll be bringing in a number of experts from outside the Gambia, but also working with experts within the Gambia. For example, we've been speaking to our Institute of Sustainable Development at Democratic University, and we hope that some of them will be able to come over and work with young Gambians and train them how to develop solar technology. And then we're hoping that we will be able to engage in similar things. So that is part of international development. And I think the other part that is relevant to the launching today is we call Global Hands Publishing. And Global Hands Publishing, we're happy that today we are launching our second book. The first book was launched last year in November, and then this is the second book we're launching. And then you might also want to know that we've also set up an academic journal. It's called Journal of Critical Southern Studies, and it's an open access online journal. And we were very, very keen to set it up. And the whole purpose of setting Global Hands Publishing is to actually develop the brain that actually works with the muscle that Global Hands is. Because when we talk about ways of knowing, ways of being, the construction of knowledge, construction of normality, these are constructed from particular perspectives and often from dominant mainstream perspectives. And then in these mainstream discourses, in what you can call the orthodoxy, certain voices are often missing from this discourse. And we in Global Hands are key that when we work with people's hands, we also work with their minds. So how you see yourself, how knowledge is constructed, ways of knowing, ways of being are constructed from a particular perspective. And in terms of setting up Global Hands Publishing, we want to disrupt that hegemony. We want to disrupt that kind of like orthodoxy. We're saying that there are different ways of knowing, there are different ways of being. And in terms of the journal, we've got some of the leading authorities in their fields as part of our editorial board in the journal. And if you have time, please do check out the Journal of Critical Southern Studies, which is open access, and you can download online from anywhere. And then if you have people who are also keen to actually contribute papers, we will also integrate them. There is a rigorous peer review process, but we encourage people kind of like to actually share some of the southern perspectives that are often missing from mainstream discussions. So we're very, very clear about that. But also in terms of Global Hands Publishing, we publish books, we publish poetry, we publish novels, we're happy to publish plays. And we've only been in existence for over a year, and we've published 2 books. And the idea is that we'll be publishing about 5 books a year. And we've set up the distribution network, we've set up like the marketing network, and our books are available in most mainstream bookstores all over the world. And the whole idea is that we are able to inject a different perspective in these discussions. And then I'm happy that we have chosen a very pertinent topic, the issue of female genital mutilation. Some people might want to choose female circumcision, but I'm using this time today in terms of mutilation. It's a very, very sensitive issue. And not only in the Gambia, I mean, as a trained youth worker, I'm still having to encounter situations where young people across Europe are being taken to be circumcised, whether in Europe or outside Europe, whether it's in Scandinavia or in Western Europe, it is still happening. So, and some people don't have the knowledge. And I think what we try to do is actually provoke these topics and inject them into the mainstream because they're often missing. So, Baba, who is a Gambian academic based in the UK, when he submitted his manuscript, and then we sent it out to review, and then the reviewers were very, very happy about it, and we were very, very honored. The book is doing very, very well. And I think the icing on the cake is actually getting Dr. Touray to actually write the preface of the book. Because like we were honored, because as one of the leading experts in her field, not only in Africa but in the world, for her to write the preface of the book, and to be so supportive in everything that we've been doing from scratch is absolutely brilliant. And you know, can we give her a round of applause? And then the good thing is like a number of courses that we're aware of are starting to adopt the book as a core text in their courses, which actually gives a different perspective. And I think we will encourage other authors, we'll encourage other people, not only from the Gambia, but from all over the world. If they've got critical certain voices, critical certain perspectives, we encourage them to actually get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to publish it. And when we publish books as well, we try to give as much of the royalties to the authors as possible. I mean, I know as somebody who's published a number of times, the most I've got as on royalty is 10%, and I've even got 5% royalty. But we will say that as Global Hands Publishing, the whole purpose is not profit. We would like to operate at kind of like beyond a break even, but we want to make sure that the message is there. So we do normally offer our authors a minimum of 20% royalty, so that some of the money goes back to them. And also, for example, today we've decided the book normally costs £10, well $9.99, and today we decided that we're gonna kind of like sell it at a 50% discount, so that it's gonna cost about $4.99, which is very close to about $300, because we wanted the message to be out there. And we also want to make sure that 80% of the sales of the book will be donated to the Gambia. So Global Hands does a lot of things. Publishing is only one arm of it, like I said. We have got Global Hands International Development. We have got Global Hands Education and Public Engagement. And then the most important part of Global Hands is actually Global Hands chapters. We have got Global Hands Gambia, and Jimmy has spoken eloquently about what Global Hands has been up to. And Jimmy has been absolutely inspirational in setting up Global Hands Gambia. And I think it deserves a round of applause. And I think the good thing about Global Hands Gambia is that there's so many beautiful people, there's so many wonderful people. And I think what Global Hands tries to do is like, we will not accept internalized oppression. We will not be told that we're not capable of doing things. We will do things. We will make a difference. And nobody can tell us we will not do anything. The situation that we find ourselves, where there is a lot of hopelessness, and as Paulo Freire would say, people are seduced by the logic of the system, a defective logic, we will challenge that. And that's what we try to do. And I think an example of that is actually to see Global Hands Gambian members doing what they're doing, which is absolutely inspirational. But we've also got Global Hands DMU, and I've got Shahid as the president and a number of the members here as well. We've set up Global Hands DMU, and Global Hands DMU have been doing as well wonderful things. They did organize a Run for Africa, attended by about 350 people last August, and they were able to raise a lot of money towards the hub that we're building in Mandua. They organized a talent show in November, which was also well attended. And I know last time they had a discussion about female genital mutilation. So we're bringing students together and starting to explore some of these issues. So we've got Global Hands DMU as well as a chapter, and we've also got Global Hands Youth. And Nabil is here. Nabil, where are you? Yeah. Nabil is here as acting president of Global Hands Youth, based in Leicester, and they're also doing a lot of things. So that is my Global Hands hat. But the other bit I do as well is to teach in the university. And I'm here with my colleague, Julie Flett, who is a senior lecturer in the same department as me. Julie, can you? Yeah. And Julie has worked tirelessly with me through a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of difficult situations to get us here. So can you give Julie a round of applause? So we're happy. So we've got Global Hands Gambia, we've got Global Hands DAD, we've got Global Hands Youth, and we want to work with people through the grassroots, through the different chapters. And we've got a number of policies, a number of principles. One principle is that non-violence. We do not believe, we do not engage, we do not condone violence in any shape, form, or manner. The other bit is about political neutrality. We are quite clear that we're involved in the politics of development, but we're not involved in partisan politics. And we're very clear about that. Economic independence. With or without the support of people, with or without the funding of people, we will do what we have to do. We will not wait for anybody. We will do what we have to do, we will raise our own funds, we will do things without any funding. All the students here have to raise their own money in order to come here. And Global Hands Gambia has not received any funding to do what it does. Global Hands DMU has not received any funding to do what it does. Global Hands generally has received very little funding, but we will do what we have to do. So economic independence is very, very important to us. And then the last bit is about grassroots development. We will work with people at the grassroots to bring about change. The people are the only ones capable of taking ownership of the process. And those of us who pursue into their lives and try to inject development in their lives and go away again, that will not be a sustainable way of doing things. And these are the principles that guide Global Hands. And I've spoken a lot about Global Hands, but also our university is quite keen. As we see, this our Vice Chancellor decided that half of the students who actually graduate from DMU will have an international experience. So that means half of the students will have to go outside of the UK and get an international experience. And then Global Hands has been doing this, and hopefully we'll bring another set of students in April, and hopefully another group of students in March. And then from next year, we will do it more often, and then hopefully it will actually make a big difference. And then we're happy to build partnerships, and we're happy to work with a number of organizations for our mutual benefit. But today is not about Global Hands. Today is about Baba Galleh's book. And Baba Galleh has actually written the book from a male perspective. And then a number of people have spoken to say that they have not encountered a male perspective, an African male perspective on a female genital mutilation. And Baba has written an autobiographical account of his struggle to actually stop his daughter from being taken to the bush. And I know we spend a lot of time debating the title of the book, The Graveyard Cannot Pray. I think that's a very powerful title. And I do hope that people will actually support Baba's efforts and buy his books. I mean, we wish we could give it away for free, but we have to at least cover the cost of the printing and all the work involved in it. That's why we could only cut it at 50%, and then we'll not make any profit. And even the total sales, we'll try and give 80% to Gambia. But it's also about how we support our authors and how we promote them as well. So thank you very much. I mean, the mere fact that all of you are here is a great testament to your support of this endeavor. And we are very, very grateful for your presence, and we hope that we will keep in touch and we'll find ways of working together. Thank you very much.
inspiration for some of us who have sacrificed to remain in the country despite the difficulties. I urge you. People will only join us, people will only help us when they see us making efforts. If we do not make efforts, nobody will come to help us. And I am very grateful that there is a Gambian somewhere who has certainly, this is not my first time encountering Dr. Sallah. I think this is the fourth time us receiving scholars, students from abroad to come to Doncaster, appreciating the work we do, in sharing what we do and learning from each other. So this is the best practice. And we must continue with that. We must keep it. Don't leave us. We are trying. Nobody is perfect. And we are not looking for perfection. But we are trying our efforts to contribute to national development that will be the best interest of Gambians, to the best interest of everybody, and be part of the global village. Today, again, we are here talking about a very prominent son, Galleh Jallow, a Gambian, a true Gambian, very rural based, who grew up with us, who worked with us, and did a lot for Gambia. And one day, he became an exile. We are very happy that he didn't go and just remain and felt everything is hopeless. He engaged. If you look at his CV today and see what he had done on exile, this is excellent. Today he is a professor. And today, this guy, Galleh Jallow, whose book, one of the books that we are coming to launch, The Graveyard Cannot Be. I think Gambians should be very proud of the sons and daughters who are in the diaspora, who are out either willingly or unwillingly, and are doing something useful for Gambians behind. We are very proud of Galleh Jallow. I think we should give him a hand of applause. Galleh decided to take a very, very difficult topic, honestly. A very, very difficult topic. A topic that evokes sensitivities, a topic or an issue that evokes a lot of insults, an issue that evokes a lot of resistance, and an issue that is full of ignorance from the point of view of Dakota and academia and those who know what FGL is all about. And of course, Dr. Sallah, you were being humble. When I read the book, I was trying to see who else has written, which other man has written on FGL. I did not see it. So I give him credit for taking the initiative to engage and join in the campaign to be a role model for all Gambian men. That is what this book is all about. A role model. This is a role model for all Gambian men who know and who want to make change and who want to protect their children and who love their girl child to take a lead in protecting them. This is precisely what it is. Now, for me to appreciate this book, it's not about the money. It's about the knowledge, the information that is there, that is important. Important for the fact that FGM is a very dangerous practice, very harmful. It affects the sexuality of women and children. And once it is done, it is irreversible. And because it is irreversible, we don't sit down to wait for money. You have to do something to address that, to protect that child, to protect that life, to fight for the liberation of the sexuality of that girl child. That is what this means. Of course, there are people who are actually trivializing the issue that what is our culture. Yes, it is our culture. What is culture? Everybody was born in a culture. Everybody is within a culture. But one thing we have to understand about culture is that culture is dynamic. It is on a continuum. It changes with time. And who can change culture? It is the people who can change culture. Particularly when you have evidence, phenomenal evidence, showing that this cultural practice has deleterious effect on the sexuality, on the bodily integrity and dignity of the person, I see no reason why there should be a waste of time debating this our culture and allowing millions of girls being mutilated in the name of culture. We owe it to the young generation, we owe it to the children, because when they are circumcised, we are not there to tell them the truth. All of us were circumcised, but when we went out to be circumcised, it was like, you are going to eat bananas, you are going to dance, you are going to drink milk, we're going to show you heaven. You are so curious that you couldn't wait for the time, only to get there to find out that you were being deceived. A deception that you will never forget in your life, because you remember that pain that you have experienced when they were cutting the clothes. This is what this book is talking about. Yes, there is ignorance, but in all cultures, we know changes do occur. And there are circumstances why the changes occur. And this is what this book has done. In a very culturally responsive way, in a very artistic, literary way, responding to the cultural ethos of the people, responding to the community, and the dynamism of how people act when you talk about female genital mutilation, and all the resistances and the gamut of actors' activities that went on. When you start reading this book, you don't want to stop it. This is what I want to tell you. When I started, when it was sent to me to write the preface, I said, this is a subject I have already mastered. I've written about it, so I don't know. But then Dr. Sallah kept on prompting me. I said, I am coming. Because for me, I was busy, I want to talk to the people and said, what is happening is not right. Let us protect the children. Let us stop the cutting and then we engage into the discussions or writing. But I think both has to go together. I sat down, I read the book. When I started it, I think Mary was telling me, Doctor, it's time to close, and I said, look, I cannot leave this book. I started it and I am curious, I want to continue. It was, you are insatiable. You just begin to see how creativity and the information, the strategies that are being used in this book, that forces you just to continue, and I was glued to it. I read it in one day, less than a day. You know why? Because I got some insights into what I should do when I get to the communities. It's a learning point for me.